a chance to take a look at the starting five for each side, and we begin with the Bonnies, who have three players who are averaging over 35 minutes per game. All three of them are in the top 200 in the nation in individual scoring.
And top 16 in the Atlantic 10. Dion Wright's the guy we haven't mentioned yet after Posley and Adams and all he's done in his fourth year on campus. He left high school, Mike, with 0 Division I scholarship offers. And now here he is averaging 16 and 9. He has 4 straight games in double-figure rebounds. He's going to be a handful for Ryan Rooms down low.
Meanwhile, for Fordham, it is again David Pekarik in the lineup. Mandel Thomas, currently day-to-day, a sprained ankle. Pekarik really struggled in his first start.
Which is a shame because he had been playing well before that. I don't know if it's a starting issue or a matchup issue, but he has a chance again here to get these initial minutes and be that kind of wild card. Again, in a game that I think there's going to be points scored in this one, Mike. The Rams will need multiple offensive contributions. Pekarik, with that outside touch, you'd hope is a guy that could get things going and do some damage for the Rams from the arc.
The St. Bonaventure Bonnies are led in their 9th season by Mark Schmidt. 221 career wins. He's somewhere in that huddle right now. He has led the Bonnies to the second round of the NCAA tournament, most recently in 2012. But a Boston College alum, he talks about defense as much as he does offense, if not more, in his post-game pressers. And for the Bonnies today, they're going to look to slow down a Fordham team that maybe has been a bit discombobulated on the offensive end of late.
Well, you know, the first thing that jumps out at you, Mike, when you see what Fordham has done against the top-tier Atlantic 10 teams is they've given up a lot of points, but they've also not scored a lot of points. They've shot poorly from deep in most of these games against VCU and Dayton and St. Joe's. And the Bonnies actually defend the arc. Arguably the best thing they do on defense is prevent you from knocking down threes. The Rams certainly need guys to do damage from the perimeter tonight. So if the Bonnies stay on that track, the Rams again could find themselves struggling to score points.
And there's a Beeline disciple, Jeff Neubauer, first season on Rose Hill. And while the trap defense has at times paid dividends for the Rams, they're still trying to find a way to consistently shut down opposing teams on the perimeter.
And obviously without Mandel Thomas, for all the good he does on offense, he's still a significant, obviously, defensive player in the scheme of the defense and in an individual matchup tonight against Adams or Posley, who knows who we would have been on. So the Rams certainly miss him as much on defense as they do on offense in this one.
So Jeff Neubauer's Rams are looking for win number 13, but this could be their biggest win of all. Meanwhile, for all the winning that Fordham is looking to do this year on the court, it's the off-the-court efforts that still maybe make the most impact in this community. And down on the floor right now is Chris Walker, who is the Montefiore honorary captain of the game. He's delivering the game ball to the referees along with his family. He was born not breathing. He needed a lot of assistance merely to live, but now 19 years old, recently coming off a surgery that is better allowing him to walk. And what an impressive young man. And another outreach effort by both Fordham and Montefiore to bring the community into the Rose Hill gym.
This is the first time I've seen Fordham do this, Mike, and it's a tremendous idea. The basketball team, all of the Fordham athletic squads do so much work in this great community. It's great to bring someone into the gym for a special night like this.
So Fordham starts with the basketball, and the Rams trying to overcome their recent losing skid. They finally got over the hump against UMass on the road. Got their first road win of the season. Since then, a tough loss to St. Joe's. Anderson tries to lob into the post. It's taken away by Taki. Here's Jalen Adams, and his season is certainly of the storybook variety. Posley fakes the three and kicks back out. Adams the extra pass. Taki finds Wright, double teamed in the post. His kick out held by Adams, 10 to shoot. Posley for three. Skids off the rim, rebound, Taki blocked, and Sangfelder pulls it in. Anderson has seen a lot more starting time with the Chartouni injury early in A-10 play, and now Mandel Thomas out. Starting all but one of Fordham's 10 A-10 contests thus far. Cross-court pass, Chartouni on the dribble drive. Tipped away, and here comes Taki. Slows it down. A pocket pick by Chartouni. That's his specialty.
Chartouni did everything right, I thought, Mike, last time down. Drew the contact, didn't get the foul down low called against Jordan Tyson, but recovers, gets back down the floor, and steals it back for the Rams.
Rooms fakes the handoff. Tyson guarding him. Fordham deep into the shot clock again. Chartouni. Now Pekarik drives the lane. The hop step. Rattles all the way around and down.
Well, he loves going to his left. We've seen him a handful of times go across the lane, kind of little baby hook. That time strong to the rim and got the roll through.
Mosley, third team All-A-10 last year. Sangfelder nearly a foul. Instead, Tyson running through. He scores. Counted and the foul.
And our Mike's probably picking up the loud cheers as that one dropped through, plus the whistle. St. Bonaventure fans love their Bonnies. They travel well, and there's across from us 2.5 sections full of folks in brown.
Tyson averaging just 2 points a game. He's got 3 early points as the Bonnies take their first lead. That's a big crowd coming in from Olean for this one. Olean less than 50 miles south of Buffalo.
I'm going to guess most of these folks were down here to begin with.
Fair point.
Some might have made the trip to get less winter here in the Bronx when you get up in Olean, but everybody that lives some life in the Atlantic 10, whether it's us who have traveled there for broadcasting, coached, played, refereed, Olean comes up very, very quickly when you get into A10 life conversations because there is no other place like it, at least that I've been to basketball-wise in the A10.
Pekarik lays it in with 2 hands. He nearly skied for a jam. Instead, he's got Fordham's 4 points. And Fordham used to drive that every time. They've chartered of late, which helps a bit, but that's a tough place to travel out of St. Bonaventure, much like St. Louis has to travel quite a bit as Pekarik goes careening over the end line. Ball belongs to St. Bonaventure. Rick Margeris used to have a lot of questions about St. Louis's role in the A10, but St. Bonaventure, it's a long drive everywhere.
I mean, big picture, just generally speaking, as a opponent of conference realignment, it just should make sense, your conference geographically, and I understand the St. Louis objection, but yeah, I mean, that is an interesting place, Olean, New York.
Mosley scores in the lane.
People are great, but you feel very, very far removed from what you're used to down here. And it's been, for everybody, but in particular these Rams, a tough place to win basketball games. So it's always a bonus when, in the rotation here in conference play, you don't have to make a trip up there.
Off the hands of Sangfelder. Bonnies take control of the basketball with a 1-point lead. And the Bonnies have had good success in the Atlantic 10. They've done a good job of making the Riley Center a tough place to play for everybody. And this year they appear headed to another NCAA tournament if they can keep this level of play up. They've really done a great job in Atlantic 10 play this season.
They certainly have their ticket punched for some form of postseason basketball. And who knows exactly what that will be once we get through the rest of the regular season and the A10 tourney in Brooklyn.
Adams, straight away, it's good. Biggest lead in the game for the Bonnies. They're up by 4.
And we can certainly explore this as we go through this contest, but if you look to our left and you see Mark Schmidt patrolling the sidelines for Bonaventure, you can hope that Jeff Neubauer, a decade from now, has built a similar trajectory here in the Bronx. Now the built-in advantage that Mark Schmidt has.
Chartouni, 2 to shoot. He launches. Oh, he hit it right at the buzzer.
Well, only Joe realized the shot clock was winding down after me.
Sangfelder picks it off.
But to finish my thought on Schmidt, with a lot of A10 experience, he walked into something that was a little more familiar to him than what Jeff Neubauer has taken over here in the Bronx, coming from Kentucky.
Mark Schmidt already motioning down what might be the shortest bench in the Atlantic 10. Sangfelder, high arcing 3 is short. Tyson the board. Long time without a whistle here as we go more than a minute without our media timeout, and there it is. David Pekarik getting on the board early for the Rams.
And they're going to need this all night long, and they're going to need this over 4 years. He's the prototype kind of stretch four in what Jeff Neubauer wants to do, Mike. And off the dribble, the lefty finish, the Rams need that from Pekarik.
Star 1 of 8 from the field. He's already got 2 field goals so far.
He's 2 for 2. The Rams are 3 for 4 from the field. The Bonnies are 3 for 6, 15 points in just over 5 minutes. I actually think, even though it plays into the Bonaventure hands to be up tempo and score a bunch of points, the Rams have been better this year, Mike, when they've been good on offense. And if they can get some early points here, feel good about themselves, maybe it snowballs late.
Rooms a two-handed slam.
Pretty two-man game. Up top, set the screen, roll to the rim, and Ryan's quick enough and athletic enough to do that often.
Posley the reverse. He left it short, and the ball going the Fordham direction. The foul whistled against Derek Woods, fresh into the game, as he provided a bit of a push. Jeff Neubauer and the Rams trying to really get a win that would go a long way in legitimizing this team. They've won a lot of games this year compared to years past, but they're still trying to get over the hump against a truly great Atlantic 10 team. Pekarik from the corner. That's too strong. Rooms the board. And the ball was dribbled off the end line by Posley.
Ryan breaks the Cardinals in there, bringing the ball down where Posley could reach it, but gets bailed out by Posley being on the baseline.
Rooms fed in the post. And Chartouni drops back. Antoine Anderson. And now Ryan Rooms. It's Anderson. Sangfelder. Works into the paint, lowers his shoulder. Right-handed lifting shot, gets his own miss. It's tipped away and brought ahead by Wright. Wright quick in transition. 2 long steps, he floats it in.
Now someone's got to step up there and slow the big man down. Showed the good handle, but put some pressure on him, make him adjust on the move there. That was too easy for him.
Chartouni the kick out. Anderson nails the 3.
Anderson is out there, Mike, and playing heavier minutes since the Chartouni injury, now with the Mandel injury.
As Wright clanks off the back of the rim.
But Antoine's not fully healthy either. The knee's been an issue for him. He missed a game earlier in the year, has had some limited minutes in some games, and he does not have the same explosiveness that he had about a month ago or so. In fact, back-to-back games without an assist, which is just not the way he normally plays.
This would be a nice assist, but it's blocked by Wright and kept in play. Posley against contact. He rolls it in. Tied again at 12, and Posley putting on the Jets.
Yeah, after Wright put on the jumping shoes and went way up in the air to bring that one down from Pekarik, who seemed to be wide open in the corner, and then all of a sudden Wright was right in his face.
What a rotation. Dribbled off the shoe of Rooms. Anderson, Chartouni. Rooms has 3 to shoot, spinning, puts it up, off the glass again at the horn. Ryan Rooms has 4 points and a pair of rebounds.
And the team continues to shoot well. 5 of 9, now 6 for 11 as the numbers update right in front of us.
Launch towards Posley is Drew Casey and the FUV crew reaching out for it longingly. Posley all the way down the ladder and bounces it in. So Posley has led the Bonnies with 6 points. Let's go Bonnas is the crowd chant in the Rose Hill Gym.
Well, the Ram fans need to answer this and shout down the Bonnie fans here in the Bronx.
Anderson, now Rooms. 3 to shoot, 2 to shoot. At the buzzer. Off the back of the rim. The putback by Sangfelder.
They get points here, Mike. They got points with Rooms last time down. They got the Chartuni 3 times scoring right around the shot clock expiring. So they're getting the points on these trips, but they've got to have better possessions, get better looks before the clock's at 2.
Jalen Adams leaves it underneath and a jam by Greg.
And that's actually a tame dunk for Denzel Gregg. He can get up, he can hang, and he can do some things while he's up there. If he gets in transition, it'll be showtime here. That time just the simple run-of-the-mill one-hand throwdown.
Couple of emphatic dunks in the early going. This is a lob. Rooms has to put it off the glass, but it counts for 2 regardless.
You might have seen Mark Schmidt in the background there. He saw that coming before his player did, defending Rooms, and almost followed Ryan on the cut to the rim.
What an up-tempo start. Cross-court pass, which Posley pulls in like Odell Beckham. But he can't keep it in on the end line. It's touched by Sangfelder, and the ball goes back to Fordham, a carrying violation. What an up-tempo start that has both sides stand 16. St. Bonaventure coming off a 65-62 buzzer-beating comeback win over St. Louis and Olean last time out. Fordham coming off a 22-point defeat at the hands of St. Joseph's. So far, a very entertaining game with Andrew Bogish, Mike Watts, and Christian Sangfelder holds the ball for Fordham in the white maroon. Chartuni lost it, gets it back. Knocked away by Caputo. Posley. Adams left open. Adams won't miss from there. Bonnie's wrest the lead back.
And again, the Rams got stuck, Mike, late in a shot clock situation, and that led to Chartuni trying to force his way through multiple defenders. The turnover, the run out, and then Adams the trailing 3.
Anderson on an island. Fordham with their starting 5. St. Bonaventure, despite maybe lesser numbers, going deeper in the bench in the early going. Skying to the rack. Anderson leaves it off the rim, no good. Back comes Wright. Adams again, why not? This one off the front of the rim, and Anderson pulls down the carom.
Well, that's clearly the situation here.
Pekarik is swatted at the rim, but Sangfelder there to clean it up.
Jeff Neubauer wanted a timeout after that hoop. Nobody saw him, though.
Caputo from the corner, off the mark. Ryan Rooms the board. The outlet pass to Anderson. With that rebound, Ryan Rooms moves up 1 spot in the Fordham all-time rebounding category.
Came in at number 7 with 812 career rebounds.
Moves him up 1 more. Long 3 off the mark.
Top 10 in blocks as well here. In a very nice Fordham career, winding down.
Posley off the neck of the rim. Caputo gets the long rebound. Wright over his shoulders, and he misses. Sangfelder pulls it down.
Spun himself into a tough shot there. Up against Rooms, and then had Pekarik coming over the top as well to challenge.
Rooms being fronted. Pekarik for 3. Tried to bank it in. Rooms the board, spinning in the lane, picks it back up, skies it. Tipped out, pulled in by Posley.
That's a shot Ryan Rooms was making routinely back in November and December.
Rooms first in the Atlantic 10 in field goal percentage, 66%.
Yeah, he's still making a lot of them, far more than he's missing.
Middle of the paint, Gregg slips over Anderson, but picks up the bucket. The Bonnies are back in front by a point.
Mike, I still like this pace. I know it plays into the strengths of St. Bonaventure. St. Louis had success in Olean on Sunday by slowing down, not letting them run.
Rooms plays it off the glass. And a timeout for Jeff Neubauer.
Nobody calls angrier timeouts after his team runs of when I was here, but I don't. Fordham won a game there. Exclamation point on a Steve Canal dunk that I can remember being off to my right in Olean and calling it, but I'm trying to remember, it wasn't their first ever A-10 road win. That came at UMass when I was here, but maybe it was their first win in Olean in a long time. But that's a place where almost everybody has extended, significant bad histories.
Dion Wright pulls up and hits the J.
By the way, as we come back here, Mike, with now Zarkovich, Severe, and Canty on the court, this might be a season high, and Jesse Bunting. That might have been a season-long stretch to start a game without a sub from Jeff Neubauer.
Zarkovich is fouled by Caputo. And Caputo may well be getting the hook as Idris Taki checks in. Fordham makes a few subs here. Bunting and Canty sit in favor of Sangfelder and Rooms.
And that's the one that I don't understand. And I wonder if the players don't understand it either. That 20 seconds on the floor and then off again. I don't understand the strategy behind that.
Rooms in the post. Taking on Wright. Scores off the window.
You know, we see often, Mike, where coaches will steal an extra minute of a break before a timeout when they know immediate timeout or the end of the quarter is coming, the end of the half is coming, and they'll steal a little extra time. But coming out of that timeout to have Rooms and Sangfelder sit and then play one possession and put him back in, it's something that I've never seen before.
Foul on Nemanja Zarkovich, his first, team picking up their second. But these teams in a bit of a different place in that St. Bonaventure really not a ton of depth. Three players that are going to go, if not the distance, darn close to it. Extra pass, Tyson! Another emphatic dunk, my goodness. But Fordham still trying to figure out where their subs are coming from, and it's getting late in the season, but all the injuries in A-10 play when you think about it. Nick Smith missed a bit of time, has struggled to re-earn his place in the rotation. Zarkovich off on his three. Tyson the board. Mandel Thomas now out. Antoine Anderson missed a bit of time. Everybody taking turns a little bit in and out of the rotation. From the half-court logo, Adams off the mark.
That was a nice little two-man game by Posley and Adams to confuse Severe. He thought Posley was taking that shot on the wing and then couldn't recover in time to Adams on the pass. That's why that shot came from such a wide-open position for Jalen.
Severe is fouled in traffic. So a timeout on the floor. A back-and-forth affair, nobody pulling away. St. Bonaventure 25, Fordham 24. Guarantee their third consecutive winning season. A win today promises them that. John Severe at the line for Fordham out of the timeout, and he swishes the first. Severe has been coming off the bench for most of A-10 play, and he's really starting to find his stroke again. He was struggling on the offensive end. Rattles in and out. That was just his first point, and Pekarik reaching in against Tyson. Just the team third, though.
And I like that role for John Severe. You and I have talked a lot about what the Rams need from him this year. Nobody likes John more than I do and has, I think, higher expectations for him. But I like the idea of him coming off the bench, bringing points immediately, gives that second unit a little more depth, gives them a go-to guy.
Taki misfires.
And he's got the energy, he's got the commitment on defense and passing the basketball. It fits this six-man role for him.
Anderson started a pick and roll, but didn't have rooms. He'll try it again. Cross-court pass for Chartouni. Anderson holds the ball with 8 to shoot. Anderson taking on his defender, spins, left-handed floater, in and out.
Everything but the shot. Got himself a good look, just didn't get the roll.
Tipped by Chartouni, pulled in by Anderson. Sevier whips it into the corner. No look pass from Sevier, but Pekarik traveled on his way in.
Not sure if there's a direct connection from earlier, but don't forget the last time Pekarik pulled the trigger from 3 from over there, Wright came flying out, blocked the shot. That time Tyson, who's just as athletic, started to close out, and maybe that's why David put the ball on the floor and ended up traveling.
Truth be told, athleticism leaps and bounds, lobbed up. Tyson is fouled. It'll be a 2-shot foul. He's working towards the basket. The foul called on John Sevier. That's his first and the team 4th. So Tyson goes to the line. Broke his jaw in practice last year in December, and that ended his campaign. So the redshirt freshman out of Columbus is coming into this year with some more expectations. Then he broke his wrist in September, missed the first 8 games of this year. He splits the free throws, and the Bonnies up by 1. And a travel called on Pekarik again. Made a nice move to get Taki to overcommit. Would have set Sevier up nicely, but dragged that foot.
And then John runs right over and gives him a high 5 to settle him down. Sevier's been a very, very good teammate this year.
Adams, Posley, Wright pulls the trigger and connects.
He likes that shot, corner 3. They use that often. Bonnie's by 4. First little sense of separation in this opening half.
Tied for their biggest advantage of the contest. Chartouni finds Sevier, who works through traffic off the back of the rim, and a foul whistled. Taki went hard to the floor. But this will be called on the floor, and so Fordham will inbound. Sangfelder in for Pekarik, who's got a couple of travels. After a couple of early buckets, really had you feeling good about his beginning to this second career start.
And certainly you don't want the travels, but I think all things considered, Mike, it's been a good first half for him so far.
Sevier hop step, he's blocked by Wright. Check that, Tyson. Kick to the left corner, Posley. Missed on the inside of the rim, and a long outlet pass from Anderson. Sevier, the bounce pass, Rooms lobs it off the glass and scores.
That's a great pass by John, and a really nice catch and finish on the run by Rooms.
Lobbed all the way up. Gregg finishes at the rim. Little backdoor cut.
And that's an adjustment the Rams are going to have to make. The Bonnies throwing the ball over this defense often in this first half. The baseline moves, the baseline cuts have been there once the ball handler has stepped away from the trap or beaten on the dribble.
Sevier, corner pocket. High rebound pulled down by Wright. And he's off to the races. Posley dribbles in the kick out. Denzel Gregg just inside the line, left it short, tipped, but pulled in by Anderson, who spins in motion and moves across the timeline. Chartouni for Anderson. Off the back of the rim, but Chartouni the board, shot clock turned off. Sangfelder wide open. Off the back of the rim, Rooms his 6th board, and he's fouled. 12 points and a half dozen rebounds for Ryan Rooms in the first half. And Fordham will inbound with the shot clock turned off.
Rams are 2 for 10 now from 3, Mike.
Sangfelder finds Rooms, bodies his man and puts it in. 12.8 to go in the first half, and the Bonnies lead just 2. And Jeff Neubauer is heated on the sideline. So 12.8 seconds to go here. NCAA Division I. Arkansas sitting around 500. And this St. Bonaventure team that's really playing great basketball in the A-10. 7 seconds. Adams with 4. Adams down the lane. He spins. He traveled, and with 0.7 left, the ball goes to Fordham.
He was too quick. Ran himself into that travel. I might have asked to check the time here, but with 7 tenths, not much Fordham can do either way, even if they were to put a portion of a second back on the clock here.
So move the cheerleaders, Zarkovich. And Chartouni holds out the clock. A back and forth affair in the first half. The Bonnies led.
Means to be a human being.
Fordham with a good start to this half. David Pekarik launching a 3. He's got 7 points on the game, and the Rams now down by 8 after a nice run for the Bonnies. Lenten season to everybody. As we welcome you back to the Atlantic 10 Digital Network with Andrew Bogish, Mike Watts. Fordham trying to find a way to get things going on the offensive end to stymie the St. Bonaventure run.
Well, just as we talked about the good defensive effort in the first half, keeping Adams and Posley and Wright in check, those 3 get the Bonnies going here after halftime.
Pekarik nearly walked. Now he tries a 3. 10 points for Pekarik. He had the first 4 points in the first half for the Rams, first 6 in the second.
And said it in the first half when he started off well. It's so important to remember when he's got the outside game working. We saw him drive earlier. He is a prototypical Jeff Neubauer player. When we get deeper into this tenure and a couple recruiting classes in and you see the guys that Jeff wants to coach end up here in the Bronx, Pekarik fits one of the molds he has in mind for that position.
Timeout on the floor. It was quick. A 3-0 Fordham run in the 30 seconds or so we stayed on the air. St. Bonaventure by 5. 15:49 to go in the second half, and the Bonnies a 5-point lead. Welcome back to the Rose Hill Gym in the Bronx. The Bonnies 7-3 in the A-10, certainly in the upper echelon and well on their way to a postseason appearance. Rebuilding Fordham 3-7, looking for that marquee win to set the Neubauer era off on the right foot in A-10 play. All the way down the lane, Dion Wright, my goodness, with the emphatic stuff.
So that I can't do. Kind of downplay the Denzel Gregg slam back in the first half, but there's no downplaying Wright taking on Pekarik and then hanging while David went back down to the court and then throwing it down.
Sangfelder's blocked by Tyson, and the athleticism of the Bonnies on full display. Jalen Adams off the rim, tipped. Ball goes to Fordham, last touch by Taki.
This remains danger time for Fordham, down by 7. They were down by 8 a moment ago. You're right, the Bonnies starting to impose their talent advantage where it exists, and most significantly their size and athleticism advantage. The Rams need to take advantage of what they have, and that's rooms right now, and maybe Pekarik off to a hot shooting start in the second half.
Chartouni, the freshman from Canada, holding the ball. 4-time A-10 Rookie of the Week, feeds rooms. Chartouni, tipped away. Shot clock goes off, shot clock violation.
I get the theory here, Mike, and I get the strategy, taking time off the clock, just simply keeping the ball out of the Bonnies' hands here. But if that's the plan, you need to be better when you get to 10 seconds left. Too many times they've been stuck just dribbling, looking for something to come open on the perimeter as the clock ticks down.
Zarkovich in for Adams, or check that rather, as Adams brings the ball across half court, in for Chartouni. Posley nails the triple. So the lead is a game-high 10 for St. Bonaventure. 5-0 run out of the timeout. So Fordham needs a bucket here to try and slow the tide. Anderson. Pekarik flips it up, no good, but he's going to the line. Foul on Denzel Gregg, who had an impressive dunk back in the first half. Pekarik going to the line. He's sitting on 10 points, 4 off Fordham's team high 14 by Rooms.
But that's still 14 from the first half, 6+ minutes. And not a hoop yet since halftime for Ryan. Jeff Neubauer doing a lot of coaching with Joe Chartouni on the Ram bench. Kept him standing, talking to him through that entire Bonaventure possession, the last one that ended in the 3, and then just went back to Joe with Pekarik at the line.
Tipped by Anderson, speaking of athleticism. Ball knocked into press row, which is usually where you don't find athleticism.
Or former athleticism.
Jalen Adams worked so hard to come back from surgery, and he steps over the timeline. Backcourt violation. Ball back to Fordham as Adams was swarmed by the trap, which hasn't really met its mark most of the time tonight.
I was going to say, that's one of the first times the trap has just completely befuddled Adams. He's been very good at either attacking and beating it or stepping back to give himself a passing angle. That time he just got caught up against the half-court line.
Adams, I mentioned it, coming off of a surgery on his hand, broken ring finger, missed the last 9 games of last year, but he's come back. Totally different player this year. Pekarik off on this 3. Rebound goes to Gregg.
I like that out of his hand. So did David, but it didn't go down.
Hosley dribbled it off a Fordham foot. Anderson cross court. Zarkovich drives. Rooms working on Tyson. In the middle of the paint, Anderson flips it up and in.
He had Sengfelder first, curling around the opposite block. Didn't see him, but Ryan saw Anderson made that nice pass for the finish.
Ball out of bounds. It goes back to Fordham. All of a sudden, the Rams are starting to get a couple of things going their way, and the Bonnie is getting a bit sloppy. 2 consecutive turnovers. The Fordham deficit is 7. 9 months ago, Jeff Neubauer said there was no way he thought Antoine Anderson would play this much. He has earned his time. Really impressing everybody on this staff. Anderson over his shoulder, 5 to shoot. Zarkovich has to create. It's blocked, and the shot clock rings out, but it's taken by the Bonnies. Hosley. And a foul in the paint goes against Anderson. So a timeout on the floor. Fordham trailing by 7. But Antoine Anderson getting involved on the offensive end.
Off the nice feed from Ryan Rooms. This is the kind of offense the Rams need tonight. Too many times they've gotten bogged down late in the shot clock, but here Rooms looks, finds the team.
In the NCAA tournament, this could be a 4 or 5 big conference.
Well, depending on who you look at right now, those top 4 teams are in. I think Lenardi has them in. Yep. Jerry Palm at CBS has maybe St. Joe's actually is one of his first teams out. He only has 3 of those 4 in. But the Bonnies certainly lurking there as well. It probably is more likely an NIT bid for them, depending on how they finish the year. But the bottom line is this is a continued tremendous effort from Mark Schmidt. They were 8-22 in his first year, Mike. And in the now 9 seasons since then, they've won at least 14 games as Wright steps back and knocks down the 3. And that's the kind of guy that you have to, now he's in the back half of this 9-year run now from Mark Schmidt at St. Bonaventure, but Dion Wright didn't have a D1 offer coming out of high school as Rooms gets himself to the free throw line. Mark Schmidt used to be a Xavier assistant, a Xavier alum, said, hey, you should look at this kid. He said, I don't know, look at him. Looked at him, brought him to St. Bonaventure. Now 4 years later, he's one of the best players in recent memory in a Bonnie uniform. And he's averaging 16 and 9 right now. You need, on top of the stuff you can control, and bring in a kid who's got the pedigree and the resume, and he ends up living up to those expectations, you need to stumble upon somebody that changes the dynamic for you as well, and that's what they did with Dion Wright.
And don't forget, Christian Sangfelder for Fordham had no other Division I scholarship offers coming out of Leverkusen, Germany for Fordham, and he's turned into quite the gem for the Rams. But Dion Wright is getting into territory where you start talking about Andrew Nicholson, maybe not his upside NBA-wise, but certainly his 11 double-doubles this year are one away from setting a St. Bonaventure record, currently held by the member of the Orlando Magic. Wright again, air balls this time. There are fans yelling air ball, but that would simply be a short-sighted effort. Pekarik, that's good. Pekarik, a fist pump. What a game. He's put together 14 points after really struggling last time out. So Fordham's taken a couple of punches, but they have not totally lost control just yet. The Bonnies' lead is 6. Lobbed up for Wright. Rattles it down and 1. Plays like that, they can be backbreakers. So Wright going to the line. He just didn't fit a positional role. That's what everybody said. Does he have the size to be a 4? No. Does he have the handles to be a 3 or the shooting ability of a 2? Well, maybe. He has found a role here at St. Bonaventure. That's 16 points a game. That's a role anybody would take.
Yeah, he's 6'7", 220. Definitely a tweener. But he fits here with his ability to jump and his quickness. He's just been an absolute beast on the glass and gotten better scoring every season.
Tipped away by Tyson as Antoine Anderson was looking to hit every highlight reel in the country. Jeff Neubauer trying to find the solution in his first year at the helm for Fordham. Chartouni's got 5 on the shot clock. He runs all the way through, lays it in.
Would you agree that Joe should and could do that more often?
He really should try and score more. He almost seems unselfish to a fault at times. The true freshman who's 21 years old. Denzel Gregg misfires, rebound to Wright.
You know, he's also 6'3", 200. He's often bigger than the guy guarding him.
Over and back.
On that possession, just force your way into the paint and score.
A lot of things to like about Chartouni's game. 4-time A-10 Rookie of the Week. He's almost assuredly going to find himself on the A-10 All-Rookie team if the games missed don't factor in too heavily. But he's leading the league in assists at the moment per game. Anderson open for 3. That's off the back of the rim, and it's slapped out by Rooms. Anderson, little trigger shy that time, but Chartouni takes the triple, and he knocks it down. A 4-point game.
This is nicely done by the Rams. The Bonnies try to put some distance between these two. Got the lead as big as 8, if memory serves correct. But the Rams have put their foot down on defense, gotten some points on offense, and now another turnover.
The trap comes through again where it didn't in the first half, and Ryan Rooms usually taking charges and blocks.
That might have been a foul just between me and you. I thought there was a little bit of hip check involved there. But the officials give Fordham the call. Let me just correct myself. The biggest lead for the Bonnies was 10 here in the second half, and now it's down to 4.
Chartouni finds Rooms against Tyson. The strength of Ryan Rooms. 17 points, 7 rebounds. Venture with a 2-point lead and just under 9 minutes to go. The Bonnies led by as many as 10. They seemed like they were pulling away. The Rams are back in it. Posley holds the ball. 19 points per game for the senior. Adams swings it back to Posley. Right on the ladder. The spacing might be off. Adams 2. Adams with 1. Oh, it's good. Jalen Adams has ice water going through his veins.
He also has a good friend in Dion Wright. He was the one that alerted Adams to the shot clock going down. He didn't know it. Saw Wright point at the clock, pulled the trigger, knocked it down. Man, his room's working hard for position against Jordan down low.
Chartouni tries to lob it across, and he's fouled. Timeout on the floor. We've got an entertaining one here in the Rose Hill Gym. Tell your friends. Get your jelly donuts, whatever you want to eat.
Said, you're right. The first step to becoming good and respected and then feared, so to speak, is beating who you're supposed to beat. And there are winnable games for sure, home and road for this club, which you very rarely in the past would call any road game winnable, but this team has shown an ability against teams kind of in their stratosphere talent-wise to at least keep themselves in position to steal one of those wins.
Fordham 12-9. They learned how to win in out-of-conference play. Now they're looking to take it into the meat of A10 play against a very good St. Bonaventure team. 15-6, 7-3 in the conference. Wide open, Denzel Gregg.
Not sure we've talked enough about Jalen Adams' ability to distribute the basketball. 5 assists per game coming in, 17 assists over his last 3 games. He had a 12-assist game against Niagara back around the holidays, on top of 18.5 points for the sophomore.
Chartouni drew nothing. St. Bonaventure can really find some extra insurance here if they can find a bucket. Dion Wright tipped away. Just when the Bonnies seem like they're ready to take both hands on the game. Chartouni for 3. That's good. Joe Chartouni with a breakout 13-point game.
Yeah, all of a sudden, Joe being very forceful offensively right now, Mike.
Averages about 9 a game. Denzel Gregg again off the back of the rim. Zarkovich the rebound. It's a 3-point basketball game.
I know he hit the previous one, Mike, but that's a win defensively if you end up with Gregg taking a 3. Not Adams, not Posley, not even Wright. If anybody but those 3 guys are taking a shot, I'm fine with that.
Gregg has struggled of late, just 4.8 points a game. Competing chance in the Rose Hill Gym. Anderson, oh my goodness! As he's sitting down on the floor, he forces it up and scores.
It's a 1-point game with 5:40 to go.
The Prairie is loud on this Wednesday night. And a foul committed right up against the bench. Nemanja Zarkovich called for it. And Taki comes in for Denzel Gregg.
Very few whistles in this game here in the second half as well. Just 4 team fouls on Fordham, 3 on the Bonnies.
Electric atmosphere in the Rose Hill Gym. Fans from both sides. Posley leaves it off for Wright, who's blocked from behind.
Kind of behind the back pass by Posley. Either way, great recovery by Rooms to snuff out that shot.
Bonnies have won 3 in a row. Posley behind the back, why not? There's Dion Wright. He can do those kinds of things, but this one a little less traffic.
Almost fell over on the drive to begin with, and then the pretty wraparound pass and a soft touch to close it out from Wright.
Chartouni, the high screen. Zarkovich open for the tie. It's good. We're tied at 59. First 3 points for number 3. Cross court, Posley. He hits the 3. Posley is a big-time shot maker, and he does it again. He's got 17.
What a bonus that is for the Bonnies. Senior, 19 points per game. Building getting loud on the road. Catch nonchalant, lands on 1 foot, stroking that 3 down.
Adams picks up his second foul and the team 4th. 19 points for Wright, 17 for Posley, 17 points for Rooms, 14 for Pekarik, 13 for Chartouni for the Rams. Pekarik, contested 3. A career high 17. Knocked away from Posley. Fordham in transition. Chartouni finds Pekarik. The bunny is good. The Rams have the lead. They've finally gotten over the hump. Timeout, Mark Schmidt.
Really smart.
Bogish, Mike Watts on the Atlantic 10 Digital Network. Buckle in. This is going to be an exciting 3:45, no matter which team you're rooting for. Dion Wright to inbound for the Bonnies. Picked up. Bataki gets it to Posley. Posley, what a road he's traveled to get here. Down the right baseline. And a foul whistled against the Rams. David Pekarik, his second. And the team 5th. Pekarik has a lot of shooting ability, great court vision. They like what he brings to the table, but for whatever reason, he's struggled at times to put it all together on the offensive end. Boy, has he done it tonight. Tyson, the handoff. Ball leaks into the backcourt. Over and back. Jalen Adams, full extension, but his momentum carries him across.
Anderson checking back in for Zarkovic here, Mike, and some good minutes from Nemanja. Hit the big 3 to put them in the lead initially. And in the middle, a lot of this good defense as well.
Chartouni around Rooms. Finds Rooms, the finish. 19 points for Ryan Rooms, and Chartouni's got 11 dimes.
And I thought he got fouled on the arm too, Mike. He takes that contact, finishes through it, and Fordham by 4.
Biggest lead of the game. Adams is fouled on the deck. It's on Antoine Anderson. It's his first, and the team's 6th. The Bonnies look forward to GW, then visits to LaSalle and Dayton. And Pekarik is going to have to back off. He's being warned. So a delay of game warning to the Czech freshman out of Prague. And they'll send him off altogether, have him move elsewhere on the floor. It's going to be Chartouni protecting Posley on the inbound. And then a foul on Zarkovic away from the play. It's the team's 7th, and the Bonnies are going to the line. A 1-and-1 opportunity for Jalen Adams. His dad, a football player for the Terps of Maryland. He makes the first. His mom, a Wesley College Hall of Famer. His cousin, the point guard at Cincinnati. Jalen Adams from a family of athleticism. He cracks double digits points-wise again. He makes them both. He's got 11.
And now here we go, Mike. The Rams have done a lot of good things on offense in this second half. They need a few more here late to protect this lead and get to the finish line.
Rooms holding the basketball. Pick and roll. Chartouni finds Zarkovic, and an offensive foul. Chartouni, being aggressive, picks up his third.
The only bad thing he did there, Mike, was leave his feet. He turned the corner, wanted to run that same kind of pick and roll with Rooms, rolling around the left side, having Rooms then go down the middle of the lane, but Joe didn't have that pass, got up in the air, and got stuck without a teammate until Zarkovic came open when it was too late at that point.
2.5 to play, a 2-point Fordham lead. The Bonnies have led the vast majority of the contest by as many as 10. Posley in the lane. His scoop is rejected, but off the hand of Chartouni. 5 to shoot for the Bonnies.
And that 10-point lead was in this second half. Early in the second half, the Bonnies made a good push, but Fordham at that moment did a good job of letting it get no further and then slowly chipped away to get to this point where they lead.
Adams looking to inbound. Tyson peeks out. Posley's got it in the corner. Shot clock winding down. Rooms pulls in the board, his 8th. Fordham trying to pad this lead and get it beyond one possession. Chartouni. Zarkovic under the rim. Rooms, it rims out. But a foul is called. Ryan Rooms is amped.
He's amped and he's mad at Ryan Rooms and he's mad at the rim for having that ball not go down. But what a pass from out high from Zarkovic to set it all up.
19 points, 1 of 2 at the free throw line. Off the front of the rim, and if there's been a problem for Ryan Rooms of late, it's been free throw shooting. He was much better earlier in the season, but for whatever reason has seen his numbers tail off a bit. Rooms is second, no good. So the lead remains 2.
As they say, remember those. As this clock ticks away, 2 missed free throws, an empty trip, trying to protect the lead.
Adams, cross court, extra pass, Posley off the front of the rim, but the rebound. A foul is called on the floor against Chartouni before the ball was put back, which may well be for the best. And look at Jeff Neubauer giving a big 2 thumbs up to Chartouni. It sets up a 1-and-1 instead of a sure 2-point basket.
Well, and even just forgetting that there are free throws attached, he's just battling for position. Sometimes you're going to foul the guy. Joe walked away upset like he had done something wrong. And I think Coach is just saying, you know, you're battling a bigger dude. Sometimes you're going to go over the line in the course of that and get whistled, and that's what happens.
That's his 4th. Wright makes his first. 1-point game. 89 seconds to play. Wright has 20 points, 8 boards. He's 3 for 3 at the line. Second is up and good. Tie game, 66 apiece. Crowd on their feet. The Rams without Mandel Thomas for the 2nd consecutive game. Pekarik for 3. Off the front of the rim. The rebound to Adams, who springs ahead. Adams down the lane, kick out. Taki finds Posley, who settles it down. Adams left open on the left wing. Timeout St. Bonaventure with 15 to shoot. What a finish here in the Rose Hill Gym. Ryan Rooms, tired of being a doormat in the Atlantic 10, seeking a key victory here over St. Bonaventure. Andrew, double-digit. Posley to inbound. Taki, Wright, Tyson, and Adams. For Fordham, Sangfelder, Pekarik, Anderson, Chartouni, and Rooms.
Posley wants to do it himself.
But he kicks it out and out of bounds. 38.3 to go, and Fordham with a chance to try and take the lead.
You know, it's funny sometimes. They're not robots. So Posley comes across half court. He waves Adams away. He's hit a couple of cold-blooded shots in the second half. He's dribbling, going one-on-one, and for some reason, he just throws the ball to somebody who's not expecting to get it. Turnover, Fordham basketball.
Speaking of someone who didn't know it was coming, 2 timeouts for the Rams, none for the Bonnies. Timeout Fordham. The Bonnies will have a foul to give. Fordham looking for maybe their biggest win to date. Anderson from the backcourt. Everybody clears out for Chartouni, and there's your foul to give. Chartouni made it from about 30 feet, but that won't count. Shot clock is turned off. So they're going to put this in Fordham's hands unless they decide to foul, which would put Fordham in the bonus. Not very likely.
Yeah, they're not fouling, and for the reason of the shot clock reset and now not guaranteeing yourself a possession after this, I'm not sure why you give the foul there.
Rooms. Can't find his option. Anderson at the horn for the win. Off the rim, we're going to overtime.
Chartouni, 13 points and 11 assists. A big second half from him.
Here we go. Tipped by Tyson. The Bonnies get the first possession. Alongside Andrew Bogish, Mike Watts on the Atlantic 10 Digital Network. The Bonnies led by as many as 10 in the second half. Taki lays it in. First points of the game, and it comes in the 41st minute. Fordham sticking with a lineup they used much of the second half. We have not seen John Sevier in a very long time. Rooms in the post. Is met by Tyson, double teamed through the lane, and he puts it in. 21 points for Ryan Rooms and 8 boards to go with it.
Not sure we've seen Sevier since the first half, Mike, and he seems to be physically fine on the bench.
Wright against Rooms, pulled down by Sangfelder.
This is not why he didn't play in the second half, but this would be an interesting little wild card for Fordham to throw him fresh off the bench here in OT.
But he's got a good attitude. You can see him cheering on the teammates. Rooms is met by Tyson and knocked out of bounds. Taki thinks it went off of Rooms.
I thought it did as well. I also know that Ryan missed Sangfelder fading into the corner for an open three.
Worth noting, there is no good camera view of that from the replay that's available to the referees. Bounced in, Sangfelder, knocked away from him, a turnover. Posley whips it around his back. Out of play, ball back to the Rams.
Jeff Neubauer wanted a foul with Posley knocking over Chartouni, but probably better that no whistle was blown there with Joe Sitton on those 4 fouls.
Fordham 9-team fouls, so the Bonnies will be in the double bonus. Fordham will be in the single bonus on the next foul. For the first time, the Let's Go Fordham chant louder than a Let's Go Bonnas chant. Anderson, no finish. Dion Wright rips it down in transition. Anderson is hobbled. Posley against contact is going to the line. Sangfelder pushed him. And you mentioned what Sevier could do. Zarkovich will be the choice as Anderson limping with his left ankle in a lot of pain.
Yeah, and I can't tell if he's cramping or if this is like an Achilles because he can't flex his foot as you see him limping off. And he's in a lot of pain as he goes to sit down.
And that's the best trainer in the Atlantic 10, Dave Zippo. An outstanding athletic trainer for Fordham. So he'll go to work on that.
And the way they're stretching him right now on the bench, it looks like just a cramp for Anderson, which is obviously good news, as terrible as they may be.
So Posley at the line. It's his first appearance here. He clanks the first, and Posley went to Ball State, didn't find his fit. He was playing there. They were surprised he left, but he went to Indian Hill Community College and ended up parlaying that into a scholarship with St. Bonaventure. And he is the leading scorer on this team, one of the top 10 in the conference.
we should mention too, should have mentioned it in regulation, but it's just as important here in OT. The Bonnies lead the nation in free throw shooting at 78% as a club.
Rooms. Ball lost, keeps it in. Rooms against 5. And they're looking for a travel, rather. They are calling a foul. Tyson is beside himself, kneeling in the lane. And Ryan Rooms is going back to the line where he's been a hit-and-miss proposition.
And Jalen Adams continues to talk to the official far side of the scores table. All of the Bonnies complained about that call. I thought Rooms might have walked. They certainly did. They were, as a group, told to stop complaining, but Adams has continued to talk. He's now changed up officials for his complaints. Looks like Jordan Tyson got popped in the eye in that sequence, Mike. So here's the momentary delay to get him back to normal.
Rooms 1 for 4 at the line. Got it. Tied at 69.
They're still working, by the way, on Antoine Anderson's left calf.
He's walking off the bench with Dave Zippo. He can't decide where he wants to be. Now he's headed off.
Well, the good thing is, though, he's walking basically normally right now.
Rooms rattles down the second. The Rams back in front by 1.
And now it looked like Jordan Tyson could continue playing, but they're going to check him out now. That left eye getting poked.
So they go to Denzel Gregg, who hit a big 3 in regulation late in the second half. Jalen Adams hit a buzzer beater against St. Louis. Here's Taki, 2 points, both in overtime. Adams, cross court for Posley. He's got a matchup on Zarkovich. Blows by him, leaves it for Wright. May have gone over the baseline. Instead, a long 2 in and out from Taki.
And a good, strong rebound by Sangfelder, just smothering that ball into his midsection. And a huge possession here for Fordham, up by 1. Could make it a 2-possession game from deep.
Foul whistled against Adams. It's his 3rd and the team 8th. So Chartouni is going to the line for the Rams. Chartouni missed 5 Atlantic 10 games as Anderson, who plays the point pretty often, is still being worked on by Dave Zippo. Chartouni's first is up and good. So the Rams have a 2-point cushion, but Chartouni first in the conference in assists per game, a 75% free throw shooter. Makes them both.
I think Antoine Anderson just tried to check himself back into the game, and Jeff Neubauer told him to hold on a second. Now he's gone off into the area behind the Fordham bench.
And he's jogging back there. We'll keep our eye on it. But something else to keep your eyes on here. Taki. Gregg is fouled by Rooms. That's his 2nd and the team's 10th. So the Bonnies in the double bonus, although that was almost assuredly a shooting foul either way. Gregg 9 points, makes his first trip to the free throw line. Denzel Gregg averaging under 5 points a game his last 5. But he's found his 10th point in this one. A year younger than his entire class. When he was 16, he played with 19-year-olds in AAU. But he's finding his own here at St. Bonaventure. He hits them both. Fordham back to a 1-point lead. And Chartouni being pressured by Adams in the backcourt.
It's a good little change-up by the Bonnies. Get the ball out of Joe's hands, force somebody else to initiate the offense.
Rooms way away from the basket. Sangfelder a dribble. Pekarik. And now Chartouni. Gets the high screen from Rooms, who rolls down the lane. But Chartouni tries to finish. Rooms knocks it loose. Here comes Posley. Posley against contact. High off the glass, but the finish, it won't count. A foul on the floor, and Posley going to the line for 2. Dion Wright nearly the putback jam to put the Bonnies back in front.
Pekarik will get the foul. Chartouni looking up for the Raptors here at the Rose Hill Gym. Can't believe he couldn't get that one to go through.
And Antoine Anderson is looking to come back in as Posley ties the game. Anderson missed at the horn, but his amazing lay-in the middle of the paint in the middle of the second half was the key that sparked the Rams. Posley hits them both. The Bonnies back in front. Fans on their feet, as loud as they've been all night. Chartouni, spot up three. Didn't hit anything, and Posley brings it back. Under a minute to go in overtime.
Rooms had Anderson wide open underneath early in that sequence, but never saw him.
Posley behind the back, off the back of the rim, tipped around. Wright had it, and now Chartouni ahead. Anderson traveled. Tried to lob it ahead to himself.
Yeah, he just got stuck. Made that catch on the run. When he turned, he saw a defender coming. If he put it on the floor, it was going to get stripped. Just a tough spot for Antoine and a tough spot for Fordham, now needing more defense.
Timeout St. Bonaventure, Mandel Thomas.
And have not played John Sevier since halftime, if memory serves correct.
Here we go. The Bonnies by one. They look like they will not go 2 for 1. Adams. Taki. Shot clock to 10. The heroics of the Bonnies. Adams kick out. Taki open from the wing. It's a 2. Fordham can tie here at the Horn. All the chips on the table now. Rooms. Chartouni, spot 3. Off the mark. Rebound to Gregg. Posley is fouled with 2.9. The Bonnies appear like they're going to walk out of the Rose Hill Gym with a hard-earned win.
Mike, I don't hate going for 3 and the tie there with a lot of time, relatively speaking, left on the clock. But there was nobody underneath the rim to get the miss there from Chartouni. There were 3 Bonnies by themselves around the rim surrounding that loose ball.
Posley 3 for 4, 3 for 5. A little bit of hope for Fordham. Timeout Fordham, they've got 1 remaining. It is a full timeout.
And don't forget, that GW for a long time, if they got to build off of this no matter how it ends.
The Bonnies will not contest the rebound. Fordham has 1 timeout. Posley makes this, and barring a really big error, it would be St. Bonnie's to win. It's up. It's good. So Fordham will inbound. They'll need a foul on a 3. And if the Bonnies are smart, they'll stay far, far away. Anderson throws it in. Sangfelder all the way down the floor off the shot clock. The Bonnies hold on and beat Fordham in overtime, 76-72. What a dramatic